starting with coordinate geometry. This is the first topic we're going to discuss in AS math.
Miss, we'll be doing the entirety of P1 again.
Yeah, I suggest that. What do you say? I think we
Miss,
should.
whatever
हाँ
approach you think is better.
हाँ क्योंकि हालात देख के तो यही लग रहा था कि करना चाहिए है ना करने
Yes.
चाहिए
Yes.
Okay. Chalo. Acha, so this is more or less like the same formulas you've done in O levels, but we need to go over them. Let's quickly discuss the formulas. Do you remember the formula for midpoint?
Yes, Miss. X1 plus X2 over 2, comma Y1 plus Y2.
Good. Just note them down somewhere. Okay. उसके बाद distance formula. You remember the formula for distance between 2 points? Like we have a point
Yes.
x1, y1, another point.
Under root Y2 minus Y1 whole square
Yes. Good.
plus X2 minus X1.
Yes. That was square root. Bracket y2 minus y1 whole square plus x2 minus x1 whole square. Okay. Gradient or slope between 2 points.
Y2 minus Y1 over X.
Yeah, right. Acha. What have we missed? Distance, midpoint, gradient, equation of straight line.
Y is equal to mx plus c.
Yes. You have two options. Either you use y equals mx plus c, where m is the slope, c is the y-intercept, where the graph cuts the y-axis. Or there's another formula as well, which does not use c. You remember that?
Yes, Miss, point slope form.
Y minus y1 equals m x minus x.
X minus X. Yes.
क्या बोला है? Point slope.
जी मिस, it was इस तरह का कोई नाम था point slope
ठीक है.
form.
हाँ, it makes sense because you just need the slope, which is m, and a point on the line, which is x1 comma y1. So makes sense. Point slope formula. So either you don't need to find the value of c. Okay. So, acha, now let's talk about slopes of parallel lines and slopes of perpendicular lines. So if two slopes are, or if two lines are parallel, what do we know about the relationship between their slopes?
Miss, their slopes are equal.
Yes, so m1 equals m2. And what if the two lines are perpendicular?
Miss, then negative reciprocal.
Yes. And in terms of formula, it's m1 times m2 equals minus 1.
Is equal to minus 1.
Yes. And by negative reciprocal, you meant if one of the slopes is 3 by 5, then the perpendicular slope m2 would be the negative reciprocal, which would be minus 5 over 3. Yes, that's right. Okay. So I believe these are all the formulas that you already know from O levels or IGCSE. Let's do a couple more that were not discussed in O levels. Okay, but they are part of the syllabus. So that would be, the first formula would be finding angle between two lines. If you have, let me write that down. Angle between two lines. So if you have a line with slope m1 and you have another line with slope m2 and you're asked to find the angle between the two lines, then the formula for this is tan theta equals modulus m1 minus m2 upon another modulus, and I think we can take whole modulus as well. Hold on. Let's take whole modulus.
So, Miss, we've never done this formula before, Miss.
Yes, probably. Because it's not discussed in O levels. M1 minus M2 upon 1 plus M1 times M2. And then you take the modulus of the fraction. You know what modulus is?
Yes, miss.
That
Absolute
is
value.
negative value, you just ignore the negative sign and take the positive one. Okay, Abu Bakr will be joining in 5 minutes or so. Okay. And then another formula that you should know, it ये वैसे syllabus का part नहीं है, but it helps to know these formulas because it often simplifies pretty complicated questions. So the other formula is distance, perpendicular distance, sorry. Perpendicular distance between point and line. So if you have a point, let's say with coordinates x1, comma y1, and you need to find this perpendicular distance between the point and a known line, and the line has to be needs to have its equation written in this form: ax plus by plus c equals to 0. So the point is x1 comma y1, and you'll have to rearrange the equation of the straight line in this form. You need to have the x term first, then the y term, then the constant term, and equals to 0. For example, if you have 3y equals 2x plus 2, you'll have to rearrange this. You'll have to write 2x minus 3y plus 2 equals to 0 to bring it in this form.
All right, miss.
So now the formula for the perpendicular distance is perpendicular distance would be modulus again in the numerator. And inside the modulus, you write this a, the coefficient of x. And instead of x, you write x1. What was x1? X1 is this value. For example, if it is 3, you write 3 here. Plus, then you write the coefficient of y, b. And instead of y, you write y1. And y1 was this value here.
All right.
And plus c is the constant. So this goes in the numerator, and the denominator is simply square root of the coefficient of a square plus the coefficient of b, the coefficient of y. So a is the coefficient of x, b is the coefficient of y. So you square them, add them, and then you square. Let me just quickly confirm. Yes, that is it. Okay.
ठीक है,
So
miss.
these are two new formulas you should know ideally because, like I said, they help to simplify advanced questions. Really
अस्सलाम वालेकुम मिस
two formulas. वालेकुम सलाम अबू बकर, कैसे हो?
मिस
ठीक हो?
मैं ठीक हूँ आप
मैं बिल्कुल ठीक हूँ. मैं रायन को बता रही थी ये लेसन मैं रिकॉर्ड कर रही हूँ. So I hope this it's not a problem.
जी मिस
ठीक है? Okay. अच्छा जी. So Abu Bakr, quick recap what we've done so far. Coordinate geometry से start लिया. Most of the formulas are the same as O levels. Midpoint formula, distance formula, gradient or slope, equation of straight line. Parallel lines में m1 equals to m2 होता है. Perpendicular lines में it's m1 into m2 equals to -1, जिसको हम negative reciprocal वाला भी concept कहते थे. ठीक है? Now, these are the two new formulas I've just discussed with Ryan. I'll discuss them again when they come up in the question. So we'll do a couple of questions that would require us to use these formulas. So then I'll go over these formulas again for you. Okay, so the first example question is that find the coordinates of
अच्छा मिस, जो दोनों फॉर्मूलाज हैं, दोनों फॉर्मूलाज में मॉड्यूलस यूज हो रहा है.
हम्म
व्हाट्स द रीजन बिहाइंड दैट?
हमें खाली मैग्नीट्यूड चाहिए होता है, हमें उनका साइन नहीं चाहिए होता, उसकी जरूरत नहीं होती। ठीक है, इस वजह से।
ओके.
Find the coordinates of the foot of the perpendicular from A 1 comma 3 to the line x plus 2y equals 5. This is part A, and part B is hence find the perpendicular distance from A to this line. Take proper notes.
यस.
Okay, let me know when you're done copying this.
मिस.
Okay. So this is the first question is find the coordinates of the foot of the perpendicular from A to this line. So there's a point A with coordinates 1 comma 3, and then it's perpendicular toward the line with equation x plus 2y equals 5. And you have to find the coordinates of this point. Let's call it B. Okay. Acha, now how will you do this? Okay, you know that the relationship between the two lines AB and the line which is perpendicular to it is that they will have uh, slopes that are negative reciprocal to each other because they are two perpendicular lines, right? So this line is perpendicular to this line. So their slopes would be negative reciprocal of each other. Can you give me the slope of the line x plus 2y equals 5? Let's call this line 1 and let's call this line 2. So who can give me the slope of line 2? X plus 2y equals 5. How do you find the slope? You change it into the form y equals mx plus c. So it will be 2y equals minus x plus 5, and then 2 goes to the other side. You divide it with both the expressions individually. So now can you tell me what's m for L2? What's the slope for this line L2?
मिस -1/2.
Yes, good, negative half. So the slope for L2 is minus half, and hence the slope for L1 would be negative reciprocal
That
of
would be
minus half.
2.
Yes, that would be 2. So we know the slope of L1 now, that is 2. Can we find the equation of line AB or line L1? Equation of line L1. We have its slope, which is 2. We also have a point.
मिस हम लोग
Hmm.
मिस हम
Now,
लोग इसको इक्वेशन में डाल देंगे पॉइंट्स को.
कौन सी equation?
मिस वो वाली y is equal to mx plus c.
हाँ, y equals mx plus c में भी कर सकते हो या इसमें भी कर सकते हो, y minus y1 equals m bracket x minus x1। ठीक है, किसी में भी कर लो। आई एम गोइंग टू यूज दिस वन क्योंकि फिर मुझे सी की टेंशन नहीं लेनी पड़ेगी कि सी क्या है। एक पॉइंट चाहिए और एक स्लोप चाहिए, पॉइंट भी है और स्लोप भी है। ठीक है, सो आई एम गोइंग टू यूज दैट। so y minus y1 equals m x minus x। So y minus, what is y1? What was y for a? It was 3. So y minus 3 equals m, which is 2, and then x minus, what was the c for a? Sorry, the x for a, it was 1. So minus 1. ये समझ आया पूरा और रायान?
Yes, miss.
Simply substitute 1 comma 3 here instead of x1 and y1, and you already know the slope, which is 2. So this line would be y minus 3 equals 2x minus 2, or y equals 2x plus 1. This is the equation of the second line. Now the question
Okay.
was, find the coordinates of the foot of the perpendicular. How do we find the coordinates of B? I've called the foot of perpendicular B. Now, how do I find the coordinates of this? You have the equation for L1. You're already given the equation for L2 in the question. You solve these.
हमें simultaneously solve
Exactly.
करेंगे.
Exactly. D1 में जो करते थे, D2 में करते थे मेरे ख्याल। So L1 is y equals 2x plus 1, and L2 is x plus 2y equals 5. Can you two solve these individually and tell me what you get? Use either elimination method or substitution method and give me the answer for x and y. अगर भूल गए तो प्लीज टेल मी, मैं कराऊंगी। अगर याद है तो कर लो।
Miss x is equal to 3 over 5.
x equals 3 by 5. Y equals
Y equals 11 by 5.
sorry,
Y equals 11 by 5.
सही है। Yes, that is the answer I have written. Written as well. जी अबू बकर, did you get x and y?
जी में से आ गया वे.
Sure? या वरना मैं करा
जी
देती
जी
हूँ।
नहीं
क्या
नहीं इसमें
use
आपको
किया, एलिमिनेशन की, सब्स्टिट्यूशन की?
बस मैंने वो पहले इक्वेशन को उस तरह लिखे 2x प्लस 4y इज इक्वल टू 10 ओवर माइनस 2x प्लस वाई इज इक्वल टू 1 और फिर कैंसिल आउट किया है 2x को पहले दोनों को.
ठीक है, okay. I think you used elimination. Okay, so we have
जी
the value for, we have the answer for part A. So answer for part A is 3 comma 5 comma 11 by 5. It's better to write 11 by 5 as a mixed number, because you're supposed to write the final answer in the simplified most form. So 5 2 here and 1. So 2 whole 1 by 5 and 3 by 5 comma 2 whole 1 by 5. That's the answer for part A. Part B says, hence find the perpendicular distance from A to point B. Now, hence means that you have to use the answer you got earlier. So we have the coordinates of B, 3 by 5, comma 2.2, I believe. Yes. So how do we find the perpendicular distance? Simply use the distance formula on these two coordinates. B is 3 by 5. What is 3 by 5 in decimal? 0.6, comma 2.2. Okay. So apply distance formula on these two coordinates. अबू बकर डिस्टेंस फॉर्मूला याद है क्या दिखाऊं?
मिस दिखा दें।
Here's the distance formula. ये रहा. Quickly
सही है।
copy it so that we go back to the question. More or less like slope. If you remember slope, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, you just have to slightly move around the values. So y2 minus y1 whole square plus x2 minus x1 whole square square. I hope you've written that. Now you're going to apply distance formula on these 2 points. So the points are 1, 3 and 0.6, 2.2. Apply distance formula on it. Square root 3 minus 2.2 whole square plus 0.6 minus 1 whole square. What do we get?
Miss 0.8944.
Acha, can you give me the answer in third form before you pressed FB?
Miss 2 under root 5 divided by 5.
Okay. So this is when you entered all of this in your calculator, this is what you got. And if we press
Yes.
S3 and get the equivalent decimal answer, it's 0.894.
944.
Usually in such questions, the question says give your answer in exact form. If हम past papers करेंगे inshallah, so we'll see. It usually says that, so you have to be extra vigilant about the type of answer being asked for. Are they asking for the exact answer? Are they asking for 4 decimal places answer? So वो बहुत ध्यान रखना पड़ता है, otherwise you lose 1 mark for no reason at all. So for now, let's assume they were asking for an exact answer. So it's 2 under root 5 over 5. Abu Bakr, did you get that? Yeah, should I wait?
जी मिस, नहीं नहीं
आगे
मिस हो गया वे।
ठीक है, okay. अच्छा, now I'm going to change the question. अब ये question ये हो गया. Find the coordinates of foot of perpendicular. नहीं, ये question नहीं. Question has changed into this. Find the perpendicular distance. This was example 1. अच्छा, example 2 क्या है? Find the perpendicular distance between point A, 1, 3, and the line x plus 2y equals 5. Find the perpendicular distance between A and the line x plus 2y equals 5. क्या difference है इन दोनों questions में, example 1 में और example 2 में?
Miss, example 1 is asking for coordinates, whereas example 2 is asking for the perpendicular distance.
Example A के two parts थे. In the first part, it was asking you to first find this B, this coordinate of B, the foot of perpendicular. And then it was saying hence meant you had to use B, the coordinates of B, to find the perpendicular distance between A and B. In example 2, it's not asking you to find the coordinates of B first. So you don't have to waste time finding it. You may find the coordinates of part B first, and it will have no marks associated to it. And then you can use B to find the distance between A and B. Okay? Or what else can you do here? You can directly use the formulas we discussed a while back. Ye wala formula. Abu Bakr, pay attention, you want here. Perpendicular distance between point and a line. So you need a point, बताया हुआ है, A point बताया हुआ है, और एक line के coordinates पता होने चाहिए, वो भी पता है. Line के coordinates नहीं, sorry, line की equation. We already know the equation of the line is also given in the question. And then you use this formula to directly find the distance between the point and the line, the perpendicular distance between point and line. So let's use this formula. So we have the point A, which is 2, 3. There's a point 2, 3. And we need to, sorry, 1, 3. And we need this perpendicular distance between that point A and the equation. Or equation kya hai? X plus 2y equals 5. You need to write this equation in a particular form, which is this. I'm going to mute for a second. Okay. So जो equation है ना, वो इस form में आनी चाहिए. Ax, you need to have the coefficient of x first, or the term in x first, and then the term in b, and then the constant, and then equals to 0. So I'm going to rewrite this equation. It's going to be x plus 2y minus 5 equals to 0. Okay, that is the requirement of this formula. You can't just write the equation in any form you like. Can't be y equals mx plus c. X term needs to be written first, then the y term, then the constant term, and then equals to 0 on the other side. Okay. Once we have that, now let's use the formula. What is this? The formula says the numerator has modulus. So I'm going to write the numerator, modulus around it. Okay. The first term is a. So what is our a? A is the coefficient of x. The coefficient of x here is 1. So instead of a, I've written 1. Then it says times x1. Now what is this x1? X1 is this x, which is 1. So 1 times 1 plus, can anybody tell me what is 2y then? Or 2y, sorry, why did I say 2? What is by1? What is b and what is y1?
Miss,
3 आ जाएगा.
नहीं, y1 की जगह 3 आ जाएगा. You're right. y1 is 3, but what is b?
2.
b is 2. Yes, b is the coefficient of y. देखो यहाँ लिखा हुआ है ax plus by plus c equals to 0. So b is the coefficient of y, which is 2. I'm going to write 2 here. And then y1 is just the y of the given coordinate, which is 3. Plus c is going to be what?
Minus 5.
Yes, minus 5. And then close the modulus. And the denominator is square root of a square plus b square. Again, what was a and what is b?
Miss, A would be 1 and B would be 2.
Correct. A is the coefficient of x and b is the coefficient of y. So square root 1 square plus 2 square. Now, what is the numerator? 1 plus 6 minus 5, which is 2. So numerator is 2 and the denominator is square root of 5. And when you enter this in the calculator, it will simplify it and give the answer in this, which is the same answer as before. Okay, conventionally, you're not supposed to write a third in the denominator. So if you enter 2 upon under root 5 in the denominator, you get 2 under root 5 over 5. Okay?
Okay.
So using the same formula, we found the distance between a point and the line. Okay, ये distance आ गया. Distance between point and a line using this formula. We'll be using this formula again. Okay, now let's discuss a question which needs us to use this formula, angle between two lines. Okay, so here's the question. Example 3, I believe. Okay, which is find the angle which the line 2x plus y equals 5 makes with the x-axis. So there's a line 2x plus y equals 5. It will probably have a negative slope. Yes, because y equals minus 2x plus 5. So it'll be a falling line. Anyway, you don't really need to do that. You don't need to know that. So they're asking you to find the angle that this line makes with the x-axis. Or this angle, any one angle.
It's the same as example 1, right?
No, it's not same as example 1. Example 1 may we found distance between a line and a point. Okay. Here we're finding angle between two lines. Okay, so it's a different concept.
Okay.
So we have two lines. One of the lines is 2x plus y equals to 5, and the other line is the x-axis. And you need to find the angle between these two lines. For that, you need the formula tan theta equals modulus m1 minus m2 in the numerator. So you need the slopes of both the lines over 1 plus m1 m2. Okay, right. Okay. So Abu Bakr, मुझे बताओ कि ये जो लाइन है 2x plus y equals 5, इसका स्लोप कैसे आएगा? I need the slope of both the lines.
मिस सबसे पहले y को सब्जेक्ट बना लेंगे.
ठीक है, बिल्कुल. So that's y equals minus 2x plus 5. So then what
जी,
is
मिस
what's the slope?
minus 2.
Exactly. Good job. Okay. अब मुझे बताओ x axis का slope क्या होता है?
मिस ये मुझे नहीं आता.
तो x axis बिल्कुल फ्लैट लाइन होती है, स्लोप ही नहीं होता, जीरो होता है. ठीक है,
0.
ये
Okay.
आपने याद रखना है. If it's a rising line, it will have a positive gradient. If it's a falling line, it will have a negative gradient. If it's a vertical line, its gradient will be undefined or infinite. And if it's a flat line like this, then its gradient will be 0. So x-axis is a
Okay.
flat line. So for x-axis, let's call it slope m2. So m2 is 0. Okay, so we have tan theta equals modulus m1 minus m2. So minus 2 minus 0 over 1 plus m1, which is minus 2, and m2, which is 0. So this would be minus 2 upon 1. Modulus of that, it's just minus 2. And modulus of minus 2, Abu Bakr, is, what's modulus of minus 2? Modulus का मतलब होता है absolute value, the positive value. So
Miss 2.
Miss
be
2.
2. It's going to be 2. Now give me tan inverse 2. That's going to be the angle between the x-axis and the given line.
Miss 1.107.
You're in radians, I'm in degrees. Can you give me the answer in degrees? Although I did not specify कौन सा unit use करना है, लेकिन most probably in the exam question they would tell you. And if they don't tell you, then you can give answer either in degrees or in radians. So in degrees, are you getting 63.4?
Yes, Miss.
So 63.4349. Write a long answer first, at least till 4 decimal place, and your final answer would be written as 1 dp. Your final answer will be rounded off to 1 decimal place as required by the question, by the paper. 63.4 is the answer. What another one like this. I think the meeting is about to end. Let me send you a new link. ठीक है, इसके साथ
Okay.
चलो I'm ending this meeting. Next question, same formula. समझ आया अबू बकर दोनों formulas?
जी मैं समझ आ गए.
Okay. अच्छा, so next question is find the angle which the line two x plus y equals 5 makes with the line minus 5x plus 3y equals minus 2. Find the angle which this line makes with the other line. So again, you need to find an angle between two lines. For that, you need the slope of the first line, slope of the second line, and once you have that, you need to remember the formula. Tan theta equals modulus. In numerator, you subtract the two slopes, m1 minus m2 upon 1 plus m1, m2. Okay. So what's m1 and what's m2?
Miss M1 is minus 2.
All right, so if this is m1, m1 is minus 2, that's correct. So you need to make y the subject, so it's going to be y equals minus 2x plus 5, making slope equals
Right.
minus 2. Okay, what about the second line?
मिस इसका होगा मिस 5.
9. That's 3y equals 5x minus 2.
मिस 5/3.
हाँ, सही है. So when you make y the subject, you get 5 over 3x minus 2 over 3. So the second slope is 5 upon 3. ठीक है, Ryan?
G, Miss.
It's going to be 5 over 3. All right, now let's substitute the values. Why don't you guys solve the rest and tell me what you get for theta? Just substitute m1 and m2 in the given formula. Tell me the angle you get. Give me the answer in degrees, not in radians.
मिस ये 32.47 आ रहे
हाँ मेरे पास तो लिखा हुआ है 57.5. Are we not getting that?
मिस मेरा तो 11/7 आ रहा है।
पर
मिस
आपने
मेरा
tan
7
inverse भी करना है ना. 11/7 सही आ रहा है. Then you find tan inverse of 11/7.
मिस मिस मेरा tan थीटा इज इक्वल्स टू मॉड्यूलस -7/11 आया है पहले।
हाँ तो ये मॉड्यूलस अप्लाई
57.5।
करो. मॉड्यूलस फंक्शन क्या होता है? इट विल जस्ट इग्नोर द नेगेटिव साइन. So that means you're getting tan theta is equals to 11/7. Ignore the negative sign. Now take tan
नहीं
inverse.
मिस मेरा 7 ऊपर आ रहे हैं।
7 ऊपर आ रहा है. ये कैसे हो रहा है? -2 minus fraction 5/3 gives -11/3. So the numerator is -11/3 and the
नहीं
denominator would.
मिस मुझे समझ आ गई है, मैंने -5/3
चलो
नहीं लिखा हुआ मैंने खाली।
ठीक है ठीक है ठीक है, फिक्स कर लो. हो गया. आंसर आया तो बताना. लास्ट चीज करानी है. एक और फॉर्मूला रह गया.
मिस आपके ख्याल से इज इट टू लेट टू ड्रॉप ए लेवल मैथ्स नाउ?
I don't want you to drop it. Do you want to drop it?
वैसे भी पेपर 1 में ये हालात से 2 वाले पेपर्स में क्या है?
देखो अब मेहनत तो बहुत है. मैथ इज वन ऑफ द हार्डेस्ट ए लेवल सब्जेक्ट. So it requires a lot of hard work. If you're not willing to do it, so फिर yes you should drop. अगर but it is a lot of effort, but it is still manageable to get an A if you put in a lot of hard work this year. क्योंकि लास्ट ईयर तो नहीं की पढ़ा. इस साल पढ़ के आ सकता है आराम से, लेकिन पढ़ना बहुत पड़ेगा. तुम दोनों के फोर्थ सब्जेक्ट है ना मैथ.
जी मिस।
सोच लो अभी टाइम है. बट ऑनेस्टली यू डू नीड टू गिव इन योर 200% टू मैथ्स. बाकी भी सब्जेक्ट्स आसान तो नहीं है. आई नो जो आप लोगों ने लिए हुए हैं उनमें आसान तो कुछ भी नहीं है. बट यू फोर्थ सब्जेक्ट नो डाउट इज इन अ लॉट ऑफ एक्स्ट्रा वर्क. अगर वो करना है तो लो, वरना फिर बाकी तीन भी नहीं खराब करो. चलो anyway, talk to your counselor, talk to your parents and make a final decision. बट हार्ड वर्क तो बहुत बहुत करना पड़ेगा. अच्छा जी, एक क्लास फॉर्मूला है जो डिस्कस कर लेते हैं. और ऑल्सो डिपेंड्स ऑन आप लोगों ने इसके बाद करना क्या है आफ्टर ए लेवल्स. उस पर भी डिपेंड करता है
बस उसी
काफी.
के लिए तो उसी वजह से तो मैथ्स रखी हुई है बिकॉज
हाँ
इसके लिए कंपल्सरी।
एग्जैक्टली. हाँ ये बैकअप होना चाहिए वैसे. एनीवे, इवन दो इफ यू डोंट एंड अप विद एन ए, बी और सी भी आ जाता है तो वो भी एक्सेप्ट हो जाता है. बट कुछ डिग्रीज होती हैं जो मैथ्स लिए बगैर आप नहीं कर सकते. अच्छा जी. Now let's quickly talk about the last formula you need to know before we start the worksheet tomorrow, inshallah. That is finding area of area of polynomial, area of inspect triangle कर लेते हैं from its coordinates. Which means that if you have three coordinates of a triangle, x1, y1, x2, y2, x3, y3, then you have enough information to find its area. अब इसका फॉर्मूला क्या होता है? एरिया इक्वल्स, ऐसे लिखना होता है, हाफ एंड देन मॉड्यूलस x1 ऊपर, y1 नीचे, x2, y2, x3, y3, and then you have to repeat the first coordinate again, x1, y1. Next, what you have to do is write half again and then the modulus sign again. Now you multiply this with this, plus this with this, plus this with this. So bracket x1, y2 plus bracket x2, y3 plus bracket x3, y1. इनको multiply कर दिया. In fact, we did not need these brackets here. x1, y2. All of these go in one bracket. So you need sum of these product first and then a negative sign. And then sum of these products. So brackets y1 x2 plus y2 x3 plus y3 x1 and then modulus goes. So if you have three coordinates of a triangle, you can use this formula and find its area. Let's do an example question. So let's say you have a triangle with coordinates 2, 4. B is 3, -1. Figure is not accurately drawn, and C is -3. Okay. So you're given these three coordinates of a triangle, and you need to find the area using these three coordinates. So half outside, modulus. First coordinate, if that's 2, and then write y underneath, then 3, -1, and then -3, 3, and then repeat the first one, 2, 4. अब half bracket किसका product लिखेंगे पहले?
Is 2 into -1.
हाँ बिल्कुल सही. This times this plus this times this plus this times this. It's going to be 2 times -1 plus 3 times 3 plus -3, 4. This goes in one bracket, then a negative sign, and then Ryan, can you tell me what to write in the second bracket?
Miss,
अबू बकर आप बता सकते हो सेकंड ब्रैकेट में क्या है?
Miss 3 times 4.
ठीक है, this times this
Miss minus 3 times -1.
हाँ और plus
3 times
3 times 2. Yes. So 4 times 3 plus -1 times -3 plus 3 times 2. Okay, so half. मैंने मॉडुलस नहीं यहाँ बनाया, हाफ के बाद मॉडुलस है. So मॉडुलस फर्स्ट ब्रैकेट आएगा -2 plus 9 -12. So that's -5. Then a negative sign, then 12 plus 3 plus 6, which is 21. So we have modulus -26.
And Miss, we can use this formula to find the area of even an irregular shape, right?
हाँ, irregular shape के तो नहीं. We're only talking about triangle.
Okay.
So the final answer would be just 26/2, which is 30. Acha, similarly, you can use a similar formula to find area of a quadrilateral, given you have all three coordinates of the quadrilateral. Now, this can be any quadrilateral. Square हो
All
गया,
four, miss.
triangle हो गया, trapezium हो गया, rhombus हो गया, kite हो गया. As long as it's in quadrilateral and you have the four vertices, the coordinates of the four vertices of the quadrilateral, you can find its area.
Miss, but I have a question.
Hmm.
Wouldn't it be less time consuming and more straightforward to find the area using movement rather than this formula?
Half times base times height.
Miss, किसी भी, for example, अगर rectangle है तो we just do length into width by comparing the coordinates.
हाँ, आप ये कर सकते हो. नहीं, पर आपको बेस टाइम्स हाइट चाहिए होता है ना. हाफ टाइम्स बेस टाइम्स हाइट. बेस तो निकल आएगी, हाइट कैसे निकलेगी? ये डिस्टेंस
Miss, x1 और x3 को देख के and y1 और y3 को देख के.
हाइट नहीं निकलेगी. बेस तो बिल्कुल निकल आएगी, हाइट नहीं निकलेगी. अगर निकल आती तो फिर हम ये पढ़ ही ना रहे होते. इफ क्वेश्चन का structure ऐसा है कि you can easily find the base and you can easily find the height, and even if you can use half AB sine C, then there's no point of doing this. But if you don't have that information and you just have three coordinates from which you can't determine the height, then you can't use any other formula other than this. होगा
Alright.
कोई तरीका होगा करने का, but it would be pretty time consuming. अच्छा, मुझे बस एक सेकंड देना है.
So,
मैं देती हूँ. ओके, ठीक है. ओके, ठीक है. Alright, अच्छा, तो quickly let's just go over this formula. We're gone over time. तो same formula, half modulus करवा सकते हैं मुझे कोई dictate formula? First give me the generic form. x1 y1. हाँ.
x2 y2
हम्म.
x3 y3
हम्म. And
x4 y4
y4, and then a
and then
repetition.
x1
हाँ, exactly.
yes
x1 y1. Yes. And then you need products of these and you keep adding them. So I'm going to write half x1 y2 plus x2 y3 plus x3 y4 plus x4 y1 bracket close, a negative sign, I'm out of space तो मैं नीचे ही लिखती हूँ. And then what? Ryan बता सकते हो next part क्या होगा?
G, miss. x2 y1,
x2 y1, right? So
x3 y2
plus x3 y2
plus
plus
x4
x4,
y3
ठीक है, and plus x1
x1
y4
y4.
bracket close and modulus close. ठीक है. We'll inshallah continue from here tomorrow. Take care.
Alright,
yes
miss.
yes
Hafiz.